plan, okay, it's that he does it in context. Okay, so this is what we're also doing with our kids in therapy. The reason I'm pointing this out is because sometimes the kids will practice something and then, okay, they're pretty good at that. Even shoe time. I mean, we could take any example of anything, okay? They can tie their shoes and then you put them in a classroom, okay, where there's distractions and people and noise and other things to pay attention to, and then they don't seem to be able to get their shoes tied. Okay, because there's more perceptual noise, there's more perceptual background, there's more to pay attention to. So it's like practicing the free throw or a 3-point shot with that versus in the game. In the game is harder. Okay, but in the game in your home court is easier. Okay, so doing it at home or in a familiar environment. Okay, but then you go out in the community and our kids fall apart out in the community, you know, in novel situations because they don't have the familiarity, the context as well. The generalization. Yeah, so when we're treating, when we're back to intervention, that's why we want to change it. We don't keep it the same. We get them going and then we change it. We get them going and then we change it. Because they need to adapt. They need to perceive it and adjust. Perceive it and adjust. Build the skill, perceive it and adjust. And that's the praxis. So they need to organize time and materials. So part of our intervention is setting things up. And so we take the time, the kids have like, where are we gonna put it? How far should it go? Okay, is that gonna work? Let's try it. Okay, oh, that was too far. Oh, that was too close. Okay, so we do a lot of that construction. We anticipate, you know, we try to do anticipate. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go, jump. 1, 2, 3, jump. Okay, so that anticipation, adapting to other directed activities. You might say, okay, when I say your name, you jump. Okay, Mickey Mouse. Okay, you didn't jump. You know, it's almost like, you know, Simon Says. All right, but you're trying to cue and let them anticipate the cues and then go. So this is very hard for some of our kids. Giving multiple instructions, maybe making a pirate map so they could go and, you know, try to find things. Where are you going to go first, second, third, that kind of thing. Beginning, middle, and end. We do a lot of beginning and middle and end. Where are you going to, okay, what's our goal? Where are we going to start? What are we going to do in the middle? And it's not all language, by the way, because the language is sometimes way, way too hard. So a lot of this is visual. Okay, we're going to put this here. Okay, you're here. And you show them. So we do a lot of visual and a lot of modeling because the language is too tricky. So the intervention needs to have, you know, several different components, which is novelty, discovery, imagination. Okay, what are we going to do tomorrow? What could you do? Okay, and then you have them imagine, and we know that preview, and this is also coming from sports, that athletes who had a preview of what they were going to do the next day, if they spent time, the mental imagery, they did better. And I know all the Olympians are using this method of imagery. You know, sit down and visualize what you're going to do the next day. That supports that feed forward. And our kids often don't have a clue what they're doing from day to day, but you do start to, you know, plant the seed of imagination. Okay, tomorrow, I think I told you about that little boy we're treating. Okay, tomorrow you're going to touch the ceiling. No way. Oh yeah, I bet you can. Think about it. Okay, we'll think about it, you think about it. What are we going to need to touch the ceiling? And he was able to touch the ceiling. So problem solving, what are you going to use? You know, are you going to use this or that? Okay, will that work? And you do trial and error. In our intervention, we need time to do this kind of intervention. You can't do this quickly. You cannot do this in a 30-minute session because it's too frustrating to futz around with the stuff and not get it right. if you only have 30 minutes. So I don't know how long you get to treat, but you need at least 45, 50, 60 minutes to do this kind of work. And then we want to add a layer of creativity and pretending, and then you want to organize, okay, where are you going to put that? So we kind of have, build in that structure of where you're going to put that, and is that going to work? Is that going to be in somebody's way? And so kind of constantly referencing back to the environment and the people in the environment, and so that's how we work on praxis. It's not a skill building model. It's a little trickier than that. It's a little harder because they do need skills. So this is not to say that I wouldn't work on skills. I might work on skills for the purpose of them being able to do something that is a little bit more complex. So it isn't like we're never going to work on skills. We do, but the ultimate goal is not about the skill. The ultimate goal is about their ability to plan and construct. So this is what Dr. Ayres said in the dyspraxia monograph. If a child has a strong negative reaction, I'll back off, offer him another activity, and assess the situation. Sometimes he only needs a little time to think about it, or an opportunity to see me or another child engage in a task to garner the courage to attempt it. So that's the other thing. We don't insist, and we let the child kind of circle back around. Like, we might, okay, well, you don't want to do it, but I'll do it. Here, I'm going to play. Okay, now you want to try it, and you give the child a little time to think about it. Often I need to approach the child on a lower developmental level, and if one can offer the appropriate situation, the child's innate drive to develop the sensory motor capacities can be tapped, and once she makes a connection with it, the drive will urge her on to more involvement. So that's the hope. Like, okay, you want to do it? All right, let's do it. Let's go. And so then you use that motivation, whatever that is, and then make that therapeutic. All right, let's do one more. We're almost done, and then we'll take a break. So if a person's stable, they've got the maximum time for feedback. So stable person, stable object. Okay, so sitting in a ball pool, for example. Moving, you have to use feet forward. Okay, so there's no way if you're running across the street relative to moving traffic that you can use feedback. Okay, no. I mean, okay, visual feedback, yeah, but you don't want somebody to hit you to tell you that you were too slow, right? So you've got, you're calculating the trajectory of your movement in advance, and then you got to go for it. All right, so there is a hierarchy. Stable person, stable object. You have most time for feedback, the least demand for motor planning. The next one is if, like climbing over an obstacle course. You get to control your own movement. You're moving, but you're controlling it over stable conditions. Okay, so mostly feedback, but a little feed forward. But then if you've got, okay, now you're going to coordinate relative to something else that's moving. All right, now I have to anticipate. I have to react to something that I'm not immediately in control over. So that's, feed forward plus some feedback, and then moving is feed forward. Okay. So we move from simple to complex, familiar to unfamiliar. Okay, and I think, okay, so there we go. And what Dr. Ayres said, it takes real courage and a great deal of skill to foster a playful, non-threatening atmosphere in which the child assists in directing his therapy appropriately. All right, so we build on the plans of the children that we're working with to be more adaptive. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, we done did praxis. Okay. So, time for a break. All right.